right, now I got both cats. Pumpkin, no, come on. Creamy, what are you doing? Creamy? All right, you guys just stay in the shower and we will be fine, okay? We've had a problem over the last couple weeks where the black tank would fill up way too quickly for two people. About every 10 days, we would have to pump out a 250-gallon black tank, and it was just my wife and I. And that really made no sense. It should last probably for 30 days with us. So there was something going on. There was some extra source of water in the black tank. We thought maybe something was plumbed incorrectly. Maybe the kitchen sink went to the black tank or something like that. We finally narrowed it down to the aft head. I turned off the water to the aft head and the problem seemed to go away. So a little while ago I kind of took things apart, and today I'm going to try and truly figure out what's going on down there. So here's the flushing switch. It's disconnected, so I can flush. Also, I've got the water. The water's disconnected, so there's no water going in. But anyway, this is kind of neat how this flush switch works. It's just, this lever is just moving a pretty standard mechanical switch. I believe the culprit is this valve and this solenoid. I've gone to two places to try to find one for a Dometic 8700 toilet. They didn't have it in stock. I'm actually going to remove it, crack it open, and see if there's maybe some gunk in there that I can just remove. And if not, I'll end up ordering one. So, of course, I don't have all the right tools. I need some sockets and whatnot, so I will run off and grab all that. Pumpkin, I'm not going to trust you here. No, I'm not going to trust you here, so you're going to have to leave while I'm gone, okay? All right, so we're gonna snip this so that we can get it off. We're gonna unscrew, I know, Pumpkin, that was a little bit scary. We're gonna unscrew it from its seat. Then we're gonna separate this this clamp. Pumpkin, come on. Pumpkin, get out of there. I was just screwing away to oblivion. It turns out there's a nut on the other side here, so I gotta use two hands. I'll put the phone down. Pumpkin, help me figure this out. So I got the bracket disconnected. We'll disconnect this hose clamp. Oh, gosh, that was already quite loose. Not sure why. Anyway, we will disconnect this hose clamp. That's behind my big fat fingers. Then we'll disconnect this, then we'll take off the bottom plate, and we'll see if there's anything to see. Oh, God. Okay. So this is the little valve with the solenoid. It's very similar to what you'd find on a washing machine. And a little bit of residual water in there. This little guy costs maybe 90 bucks or so, maybe 100 bucks. But I'm just going to pop off this back plate. I have no idea what I'm going to find, but we're just looking for maybe a diaphragm that's damaged or it's got something stuck in it. We'll see what happens. This is something that you can fix. I find part of this just curiosity as well. I'll let you know if they can do this with the washing machine, and we're done. All right, let's pop this open. Oh yeah. Okay, this is coming back to me. Yeah, so that just. Oh, well, look, there it is. Just looking for any nicks or something that might cause this to not properly seat. Looks pretty clean. This is one of those differential pressure jobs, so it takes very little, whoops, it takes very little push from the solenoid to get it to do its thing. put that back together. So it's completely sealed. That's kind of neat. All right. You have to cover your eyes, it's too bright. So one of the things you have to worry about when you're working down here is these two lines right here. Those are for oil to the oil sealed shafts. I'll show you that when I take the floor off a little better. But you don't want to step on them. And it's actually a little bent, so somebody at one point stepped on them. So while we got the toilet out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this air leak that we have down here. This is an old compressed air line that was used for the original toilets. And here it is right here. There's some kind of leak, so I'm going to cut this off, put a valve here, splice in a new connector, put a quick connect so that we could use it for air at some point, and hopefully it won't leak. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the air compressor so I can see if the compressed air hose in the aft cabin bathroom is leaking or if those valves are actually doing their thing. Well, I may as well just say a few things about this air compressor. It's a 60-gallon tank under there, and there's a 230 volt pump, and there's a 24 volt pump, which I'm currently working on, so that's not connected. It has this control panel to turn on the 230 or the 24. There's also a breaker for it. When I turn that on, it's going to pump up to about 90 psi and then auto shut off. Here's the controls for the auto shutting off. So I'm going to go ahead and pump it up. Well, actually, one second. So there's a hose that comes out under here, and that's for just kind of using compressed air in the engine room. There's an outlet here that goes north up to the horn, and then there's one that goes south here, and that goes to all the bathrooms, even though none of the bathrooms use it right now. So really right now this 60-gallon tank is only powering the horn, so I thought that was kind of funny. But I'm going to enjoy having compressed air really in every cabin. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. All right, so that's made it to 30. I'm just going to let it chug away. I'll leave it on so when it drops below about 60, it's going to auto start. I'll take this air hose to that aft cabin bathroom, and we're going to just see how our compressed air works back there. Let that run, and we'll check on it. So I was getting ready to do my first test of the air back here. I've got this valve open. I've got this valve open. I've got my hose attached to it. I press this and nothing comes out. So I probably forgot to open the valve in the engine room, which is about the farthest thing away from this spot as you can get in this boat. Let's be back in a minute. Yes, indeed. I forgot to open this valve, which sends air to all the heads or bathrooms on the boat. And while we're here, let's check on our pressure. And we are almost up to 90, so it will auto shut off in just a minute probably. All right, we're back. Now, the reason I knew there was a leak back here is because whenever you filled up the compressed air tank, you basically hear a psh if you ever open this floor. I'm not hearing that, so at least we know this is fine. Let's open this valve. Oh, That's obviously not fine. Oh, it's the quick connect fitting is bad, but let's see what happens. We get a little bit of air. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Boy, is it really the quick connect fitting? All right, it's really this push to connect fitting here. And this is an old fitting that I just found somewhere. I bought new fittings. I thought I'd go ahead and try the old fittings. Obviously, that was a mistake. So, and too bad I'd already put the Loctite on here, so I'm going to have to undo all that. Great. It was pretty much a mistake to use that old fitting. I think it felt heavier. That's why I thought maybe it would be better than this new fitting, but obviously it didn't work. Now this fitting already has Teflon tape on it. I'm going to go ahead and add the Loctite 545. Not sure if that's right, but hopefully it won't hurt. And let's get this fastened up. All right, that's good. And then we will pop this onto the end of the hose. Let's pop this onto the end of the hose. Hopefully that push to connect fitting is fine. Let's go ahead and turn on the air. This quick connect should be no hissing. No hissing. I've got compressed air in the bathroom. Just what everybody wants. Everybody wants. Everybody wants. And I've got 2 valves to shut it off. Now I need to figure out a nice way to mount this. In fact, I'm probably going to stick it into that closet instead of leaving it under here in the bilge. But we will save that for a later day because I got to focus mainly on this toilet. So the bidet ends up being a perfect place to store some tools, get them out of the way. All right, we've got this back together now that we took it apart and just checked it out. I'm going to do some tests. So basically when you flush, it activates this solenoid here, which allows water to rush in through here and then up through the toilet. And that solenoid activates for like 10 seconds. So that allows 10 seconds worth of water to flow through. The stuff comes out through here, goes through a macerator, and then eventually it's going to get dumped out of this hose, which goes here, which heads into the black tank. So I'm going to just be flushing fresh water and let it go into the black tank. Then I'm going to disconnect it and put a little container under here and just see if there's any sort of dripping, which would mean there's some kind of leak. And I'll do that a few times in case maybe it's an intermittent seating failure here in this valve. All right, things are connected back together. Discharge is connected. Water input's connected. First I'm going to try this, see if we get a flushing motion. Then I will open this valve to let water through and just make sure there's no leaks. Here we go. All right, you might call that a dry flush. There's no water. Now let's open this slowly. Make sure nothing explodes on us. And there's a leak. And there's a leak. Yep. All right, we will fix that. All right, it's back together. I didn't put any Teflon tape on it the first time. I kind of was hoping I didn't need it, but looks like I needed it. And I've got the water on and it is not leaking. So let's go ahead and try an actual wet flush. All right, I could feel water coming through this discharge. And of course we see a leak. Where's that? Maybe that's why there's water damage in the floor, because every time you flush there's a leak. All right, so it's leaking right here at this hose clamp. And I had loosened this because it was in the way of this mounting piece here. And I never tightened it. So we're going to tighten that back up and hopefully we're good. So I'm kind of lucky. The pressure could have popped that off and made quite a mess. Let's try it again, see if we still have a leak. All right, so no leak. So now the theory is maybe that there was some sort of slow drip through the discharge tube because of some kind of slow leak through this valve. I'm going to put something under this discharge tube, and we'll see if we get any water over time. And then I'll flush a few times and we'll just see if it ever happens. So while we're waiting for potential drips there, we're going to look at this uneven floor issue. I've gone ahead and removed some of this old foam that's screwed up now, or maybe it was replaced, I don't know. I've removed it from here. This is aluminum. I'm going to put a rubber strip there. This is 1/4 inch. We'll cut it to size a little better, but right now we're just going to give it a shot, put the floor back on there and see how close to even we are. I have a feeling we're going to have to put a little bit of this 1/8 inch stuff down there as well. Well, sigh. The way I went ahead and powered the toilet with this cable, I couldn't get it up through the proper hole easily, so I went ahead and just ran it through this big hole, which is fine, but that means I can't do my test because I can't put the floor in until I get that cable rerouted. So, big fat sigh. Pumpkin, are you ready for some kind of adventure? That's why you're in your box like you're gonna take off in an airplane. This is just perfect. Creamy, Creamy, do not go in the bilge. Creamy, get your feet off the piping. Creamy, I'm telling you, nothing good happens down here. I'm gonna let you be the first person to go to the bathroom once it's put back together. How about that?
I want to be the first one. I don't want to be the first one.
Well, I'll have.
What if it's exploded the first one usage? So I wanted you to test it.
Well, I will have flushed it already, but I won't have sat on it. Okay, so you can go first.
Oh, wow. Look at this guy watching Daddy working in the toilet.
She got down in the bilge earlier. Yeah. So did Creamy.
It's good job. You keep Daddy accompanied, okay? Do you want me to run the fan?
Oh, that'd be great. Well, I just put my first piece of rubber down using contact cement, using this 3M contact cement. I put it on the aluminum frame. I put it on the rubber. I used some cardboard to keep me from spraying contact cement everywhere. And it doesn't need that long to bond. Putting some pressure on it now, and boy, it looks like it's really working well.
What are you spraying onto? Glue?
This is contact cement. Basically, when you put two things together that have been sprayed with contact cement, it sticks really, really well. I really should have gotten a video of the floor here before I added the rubber. It was about 1/4 inch off, and now look at that. That is just perfect. Look at that, just perfect. No more toe stubbing. Oh, darling. Please believe me. All right, for the first time in quite a while, the bathroom is back together and we can actually use the toilet. Of course, we still have this disaster here. There's still a leak we're trying to solve up here. I know what it is, but I just can't reach it. So the tub will have to wait for another day. Well, after working on the toilet and the bathroom, I guess I should say, and succeeding, the head maybe I should say, and succeeding, I decided we should come out for a little walk around Fort Lauderdale. What's that?
We should get a treat of self-delivery treat.
Yeah, you want to be in there, babe? You look good. Yeah, you look good. This is my wife, Lily. All right, that was our little treat night out in Fort Lauderdale. There's actually a little bit of spring break action still lingering, so not quite as casual as we expected, but still fun. So tomorrow's kind of engine day. We've got people coming to check on the generators after they've had some work done on them. And we've got someone coming to work on the starboard engine to finish up some of the coolant system work. And then we're going to do a sea trial later this week. So, see you next time.